So YouTube, welcome back. CalFX here, and we're back with another Market Outlook series. So I hope you guys had an incredible month of July and a great start to the month of August. So us on the group, on the private group, we actually started with the right foot this month of August. I mean, if you guys follow me on the Instagram, you can look at my Instagram stories as well as on the free Telegram group. I always make sure that I update all the trades that we take, the winners, the break evens, losses. Right, so I mean, this month of August, we just started on the right foot, man. It's just been an incredible run that we've been having, just maintaining the consistency. That's the most important. So, I mean, without further ado, guys, let's just hop onto the market outlook. So when it comes to Euro USD, we can just start from the monthly time frame, just to get a clear picture of what's going on. So if you look at the monthly time frame, price just came above 50% of this wall range. So if I just quickly use the Fibonacci, we can use from this previous low all the way to this high, right? We can clearly see the price just came above 50%, which usually is our considered premium zone for sales. So price actually tapped into this supply zone. Usually when price comes to my monthly supply zone, I like to monitor the daily as well as the weekly. So we can just quickly drop down to the daily time frame, especially as an intraday trader. We want to look with much focus on the daily time frame. So if we look at the daily time frame, we can clearly see that the structure is relatively bullish so far. I mean, with the structure is still bullish, and price just came to this daily demand zone right here. So once price comes to my daily demand, usually what I want to see is a 4-hour change of character. So we drop down to 4-hour time frame, and we can clearly see that price just gave us a beautiful change of character right here. But the reason why I'm still a little bit skeptical about this one is because if we look at the swing structure, we have this low, we had this high, and then we had this low. So this high right here was the decisional high, right? The decisional supply zone that ended up violating this previous swing low, right? So that's why we may consider, some people may look at this and say that, okay, this is a change of character. But what I would love to see to really be confident that okay, we're going to be bullish for a while is for price to violate this previous high right here. So we'll be expecting some pullback, maybe a break of structure, and then we can come all the way down to this order blow. But for the time being, if price happens to pull back all the way down to this demand zone, I will drop down to M15 and look for confirmation, right? So that's it. On the 4-hour, price just tapped our daily demand zone. We have a nice 4-hour break of structure to the upside. This is the first sign of bullish intention. Now we need to wait for price to pull back all the way down to this demand zone, and then we'll wait for M15 change of character. And then, for people that don't like lower time frames, you can just wait for M15 change of character right here and set your limit order on the M15 point of interest, and then push to the upside. So you can just look at the daily, say, okay, this daily structure is still bullish. So we want to see that, okay, on the 4-hour, we just had this break of structure. Let's wait for M50 to also give us that M15 change of character, and then we can buy, right? That way we'll be a little bit more confident to take a buy, right? So what I would love to see, actually, just to make sure that we're bullish for long term, is for price to take out this 4-hour swing high. That's the main focus that I want to see. But if price happens to pull back all the way, we can still wait for M15 change of character to the upside, and we'll look for buys on the lower time frame. All right. So that's it for Euro USD. Let's move on to the next pair. So Aussie dollar. I mean, if you've watched my previous outlook, I mean, you can clearly see that the structure overall is bearish, right? I mean, if you look at the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that price had broken structure, came back to the extremity of this previous high, and now it's doing all this pullback, and we expect price to come all the way down to this low, right? So that's it from the on the monthly time frame. We come down to the weekly, right? We just want to understand what's going on within that monthly range. We can clearly see that on the weekly, the structure is also bearish. So there is a confluence here with the monthly and weekly, both are bearish. So we can see the price came to the extreme supply zone, change of character right here, and then it came to this daily supply zone. So if I drop down to the daily time frame, we can clearly see the reaction that it had in this last up candle before the down move, right? Price just grabbed this liquidity, right? Push all the way into the supply zone. Had a little change of character under the 4-hour, right? So if I come down to 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see the price had given a beautiful 4-hour change of character right here. Once it tapped this daily supply, we had the 4-hour change of character. Price came all the way up, right? And now we're seeing that drop all the way, and price just gave us the 2 breaks of structure on the 4-hour. So we can clearly see that the overall structure on the 4-hour is bearish. So monthly is bearish, weekly is bearish, daily bearish, 4-hour is bearish. Now, what's going on right here? What happens is that price just came into this last decisional up candle before the down move. This actually was the decisional buy before the sell that went on to take this major low right here. So most definitely we're going to have some sort of reaction, as we can clearly see here. Is that once price came in, we had this huge push to the downside. Now we still have a lot of imbalances sitting above. We actually had this break of structure, mitigation, then the second break. So I was still expecting price to come all the way to this supply zone right here. This highs, we may actually see price using this previous highs as inducement for price to come all the way up and then continue to move to the downside. But mainly we want to monitor what's going to happen at this zone. Price came to this 4-hour zone, as you guys already know. Once price comes to my 4-hour demand zone or supply zone, I want to see that M15 change of character or M20. So let's just drop down to the M20 time frame, and we can clearly see that price just gave us exactly what we wanted to see. We had this previous structure high, this low, then what happens? Price sweeps the previous high, fails to close above. We already know this is a sign of bullish sentiment in the market in depletion, right? So price failing to close above or above it, that's a sign that the bullish sentiment is in depletion and bearish. That's why the bears actually stepped into the market and broke structure, this previous low. So we just had right here, this our M20 change of character. We can consider all of this right here to be our zone. So my expectation, what I'm expecting to see is price to pull back all the way down to this point of interest, and then we can sell from that point all the way down, right, to see that continuation to the downside. Now if price happens to continue to go all the way up, price will have to violate the supply zone, and then we can look for buys all the way to this major supply zones sitting above, right? So that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's move to the next pair. Now, GU, we can clearly look at it from the monthly time frame. I think it's very, very important because if we look on the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that the structure overall is bearish. Price just came perfectly to this supply zone, sitting way above 50%, which is perfect zone for sales. So price came to our monthly. I want to drop down to daily time frame. So we come to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that the structure is still bullish, right? We had this break of structure to the upside, we had a mitigation at the last down candle before the up move, then we had this push to the upside into a supply zone. So we can see this nice reaction right here. The price comes into a monthly supply zone, it has this strong pullback. But on the daily time frame, the structure is still bullish. We can't ignore that. So price just came into this extreme demand zone right here on this daily leg. So once price comes here, if we're going to continue the bullish run, what I want to see is a 4-hour change of character to the upside. So we come down to 4-hour time frame. Something interesting is going on here, is that we just had this previous low, high, and then this low. Price now came into this 4-hour and had a reaction at this supply zone. So up to this point, we don't have that 4-hour change of character to the upside, because that's what we want to see. If the demand zone is going to be respected, we want to see price break this previous high and continue to move to the upside. As of now, price just came into the supply zone. Now this is we don't have guarantee that the 4-hour bearish structure will continue all the way down, because this can be a situation where we have that demand supply reaction, a pull back, and then we have a break to the upside. So this would have been that supply to demand flip, right, that most people talk about it, right? So then that's when we actually wait for price to come back and then continue to move to the upside. But as you guys already know, price comes to our 4-hour supply, we drop down to M20 time frame. So we come to M20, we can clearly see something interesting, is that on the M20 we had a change of character right here. So we just had this nice break of structure right here, and we can see this huge candle, I mean all these blue candles. So this right here, I believe this is a very nice supply zone. So if I could just quickly go to M30 time frame, just 1 hour quickly. Yeah, perfect. So we have this candle right here, which is a good supply zone. So I'm expecting to see a pullback all the way up into this supply zone, and then we have the continuation to the downside, right? So price comes to our 4 hour. On the M30 time frame, we just had the break of structure to the downside. What I'm expecting is a pullback, and then on lower time frames I can look for sales, or price is more likely to come into this demand zone and start to push all the way to the upside. So I will also monitor the reaction here on the lower time frames, right? So that's it for GU. Let's move to the next pair. So New Zealand dollar, just quickly we can look at it from the monthly time frame. And on the monthly, I mean, the price action is just absolutely clean and beautiful. And we can clearly see that the bias is bearish, right? We had this break of structure, mitigation, second break of structure. Price came to the extremity of this previous high, to a supply zone right there on the lower time frames. We can see this huge push to the downside right here. So our expectation is to see price to continue this bearish move. That's the higher time frame directional bias. That's how you establish it. Just looking at the monthly, you get the whole picture from a high time frame. Is that okay? Eventually, we want to see price coming all the way down to take out this monthly low and continue the monthly bearish of the flow. So then we drop down to the weekly time frame. We want to understand what's going on within that monthly range, that monthly bearish range. And we can clearly see that on the weekly, also the structure is bearish. We just had this nice price came to the extremity of this previous high. Let me just zoom in real quick, and we can see that price had made this high, this low. Price then failed to break above this previous high right here, showing the bullish sentiment in depletion, change of character. Price now just came into this supply zone right here that caused this first break of structure, grabbing all this liquidity, relative equal highs, and now we expect price to continue all the way down. So if I come down to the daily time frame, just real quick, price comes into our daily time frame, into our this weekly, right? I mean, this is, we can consider this to be a daily supply zone, because I mean it was very well refined. We just had this nice push to the upside, break below this previous low, and price just grabbed these relative equal highs right here with this move to the upside. Now our expectation is to see price now continue the move to the downside, taking out this daily previous low and maintain the bearish order flow. Now if we come to the 4 hour, we can see the price actually had a reaction on this demand zone, because this low was responsible for breaking this previous structure high, and this is an internal price action happening within that weekly range, right? So price just had broken structure to the upside into a daily supply zone, and now we want to see that continue push to the downside. Now we come to 4 hour time frame. Something interesting is going on, is that if we look at the 4 hour structure, we can clearly see that the 4 hour structure is still bearish right here. So price broke structure to the downside, mitigation, second break, we had a mitigation. There is actually a hidden supply zone on M30 time frame, and then we had the second break of structure. Now this right here was the last buy before the sell that went on to finally taken out this previous low, right? That took out this previous low. Now price just came into this supply zone. What do we want to see? M15 change of character, right? That's the bread and butter right there. So price comes into the 4 hour supply zone. What do we have? This previous high, then this low, then price made this high. It attempted to break above, but what happened? Bullish sentiment in the market in depletion. So this is exactly what we like to see right here. Price comes up into a supply zone. It fails to break above it, right? So let me just consider this to be a sweep up, and then right here we just had this beautiful change of character right here. So there you go. So now we have this supply zone sitting right here. So this is a very, very good supply zone. So once price starts to pull back into this M20 supply zone, that's when I will be dropping down to lower time frames, and we look for that change of character, 3 breaks of structures if you like. You know, we're going to sell from this point of interest, right? So we want to see that push to the upside, then we drop down to lower time frames, right? So that's it for New Zealand dollar. Let's move to the next pair. Now UJ is very simple to understand. It just by looking at it from the weekly time frame, we can see that the structure, I mean the overall bias is bullish right here on UJ. So we can clearly see the price had broken structure to the upside. It pulled back, created the second break, but then price came aggressively into this extreme demand zone, and now we're seeing price continue to move to the upside. Now once price comes to the weekly, we drop down to the daily time frame, right? So on the daily time frame, we can clearly see that price had given us a nice beautiful change of character to the upside. We had a mitigation, then we had a second break of structure right here. Now we have this order block sitting right here. That's actually where I would love to see price coming to. Right, so I would love to see price coming all the way down to this demand zone, and then we have that bullish continuation to the upside. Now, so far, if we look at the structure right here, is that price was pushing to the upside, and then we had this high and this low, and then price created this high. Now, what happened is that price came and pulled back. I was expecting to see price reacting, respecting this demand zone, and continued the move to the upside. But what happened? We had a change of character right here on the daily. So we have a change of character, price came to the extreme supply zone right here. Now our expectation is to see price from this zone to pull back all the way down into this daily demand zone, and then we have that continuation to the upside. Now because this is actually a daily supply zone, I drop down to 4 hour and I want to see that change of character. So if I quickly just zoom in, we can clearly see something interesting going on here. So just real quick, price comes into a daily supply zone. This is exactly what we want to see, 4 hour change of character. So boom, right there, we have the change of character. What is the point of interest is sitting right here, very, very, very clean right here. So this is our supply zone, change of character on the 4 hour. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting to see M15, right, to turn bullish right here, which will give me the confirmation that the 4 hour is ready to do its pullback towards a supply zone. So I want to see M15 to turn bullish, so maybe I can buy all the way up. I can do the counter trend, right? So I need that M15 to turn bullish, so we'll buy all the way up. Once price comes to my 4 hour supply zone, I will wait for M15 as well to turn bearish right here. So up to this point, as soon as the market open, what we can actually do is wait for M15 to turn bullish, so we can ride this the 4 hour pullback towards the supply zone. And once price comes here, wait for M15 change of character to the downside. Simple as that. All right. So that's it for you, Jay. Let's move to the last pair. Now the last pair of today is gold. So gold, if we quickly look at the weekly time frame, we can clearly see the intention is bullish, right? We just had this break of structure to the upside, mitigation, second break, and price engineered these relative equal highs. That's exactly what we're trying to aim, right? For buys all the way to take out this previous high and maintain the gold strength over the dollar, right? So once price actually grab this, pool of liquidity right here, we can see the price grab liquidity and push to the upside. We come to the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, once price had tapped this monthly demand zone, we can see the weekly change of character to the upside. And then we had a pullback and then a second break of structure. Now we're very close to this high. Our expectation is to see price pulling back and then continue to move to the upside, grabbing all this liquidity sitting on top. Now we have 2 points of interest. We have this one right here, which was the second that caused the break of this previous high. So we're expecting price to come all the way down here and continue to move to the upside. But there is a possibility that price may decide to come all the way down to this one, and then we have that push to the upside, right? Now, from my experience, usually when price is very close to take a previous high, usually we don't see price coming all the way down and then to go all the way up. It just takes a lot of orders for price to push all the way. It just takes a lot of money for price to come down and then continue to push to the upside, right? Especially when the high time frame is bullish and we're close to this previous structure high. So my expectation actually for now is to see price coming to this weekly demand zone, and then we have the continuation to the upside. So for that, we need to look at the daily. What's going on with the daily? The daily actually is a confirmation that the weekly is doing a pullback towards its demand zone sitting below. So we can clearly see that on the weekly, on the daily time frame, the structure is still bearish right here. We just had this nice change of character, pull back, second break, pull back, third break of structure. price came to the extremity of this previous high, and now we're seeing price continue to move to the downside. So once price comes to my daily, you guys already know I like to drop down to 4-hour time frame. We come to 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that we had this nice change of character, mitigation, second break of structure. This actually I sent on the previous outlook video, so some of you guys took the trade. I mean, fair play. That was a beautiful trade right here. You could just set your limit order at this 4-hour and then push to the downside. So price just gave us this third break of structure, and now price came to into this decisional buy before the sell, and that's what the reaction has been now. So I'm expecting to see some good reaction at this supply zone, and price continue all the way to the downside. So price just tapped the 4-hour, we drop down to M15. So once I mean at the M15, we don't have yet a clear change of character on the M15. I mean, if just quickly look at the M10, price didn't close below this low. So for me, so far, we don't have an M15 change of character. A confirmation here hasn't been given yet. So I want to see price actually coming all the way, I mean, to continue to complete the pullback and then give me the break of structure below this low. And then we have that M15 change of character, so we can sell all the way down to our weekly demand zone sitting below. All right. So that's it, guys, for the outlook. I hope I made the point clear. And guys, if you like the video, I mean, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button. For me, you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content. If you guys willing to join the mentorship to take those banger trades that we've been taking, my content is on the description box below, and I'm gonna see you guys the next time.